Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, I still got that cough. If you've been watching the last couple of videos, I still got that cough, but it's almost gone. Welcome to the channel, folks. Sheldon here. Today I just want to take a couple minutes and talk about a topic that is really important. Money. Let's talk money. And the reason why a lot of people just can't save. A lot of folks just find it really hard to save. And one of the most important relationships, y'all, one of the most important relationships that you need to have if you're going to have a certain level of comfort in your life is the relationship that you have with money. It's the relationship that you have with money. If you don't have a good relationship, and look, I've realized that, I grew up poor. With it's just eating the same thing over and over again, struggling sometimes just to put stuff on the table to eat, to see my family go through that, see my grandmother go through that, see my mother go through that. It wasn't easy. And so now that I'm at the point in my life where, I've worked hard, all right, to be at the point where I am very careful with money. And I wasn't always like that. Some people might even say I'm cheap. I wasn't always like that, because when I initially first got money, and this is another lesson right here. When you initially get some money for the first time, man, it's easy to go wild. It is easy after you finally, you ain't used to it, and then you start getting several $1,000s, let's say, or maybe some of you more. So you see athletes and stuff like that, and entertainers go through stuff too, where they get these huge chunks of cash, and they're not used to getting that kind of money. So when you're not used to getting that kind of money, and you're not used to that money, you don't have the mentality to approach money in a certain sort of way, man, it's easy to go wild. It's easy to go wild. I can only imagine folks, who get like millions of dollars a contract and stuff like that. But it's an important relationship to have, man, because as much money as you make, you can lose it. As much as it comes in, you could lose it. You got to be careful with it. So I want to talk about a couple reasons why, we struggle. And one is instant gratification. That instant gratification gets us every single time. Because with instant gratification, what happens is that dopamine, which is feel good, gets released, right? We get that feel good, that dopamine, that instant gratification. I just want it now. I want it now. I got to have it, right? And we convince ourselves that we got to have it right now. We convince ourselves that we need to feel good. And that dopamine, and after a while, what happens is that instant gratification, you become hooked on instant gratification. You literally can become hooked. And before you know it, that is your dopamine. That is your go-to to feel good, is to spend money. It's to spend money. Let me ask you, how many of you have so much clothes and you have convinced yourself that you need more clothes on top of the clothes you already have? Some of the clothes you bought, you even forgot that you have it. Leave in the comments if you got more clothes than you need, or more shoes, or whatever the case is, but you keep going out and adding another layer of clothes, with a shoes to match, with a hat to match, or with a whatever you're wearing, a purse to match, just keep adding to it. And honestly, do you need it? And a lot of people will be honest with you, and they'll tell you, no, they don't need it, but they look good, right? So It's rough, man. That instant gratification is rough. It will leave you broke. I'm telling you, if you're operating off of the mindset of instant gratification, it is going to leave you broke, right? Just that dopamine, that feeling you get, that feel good from spending that money and getting something new or whatever the case is, it will leave you broke. Before I go on with my next point, most folks are living paycheck to paycheck. Most folks, I've heard 60%, 65%, 70%, but we know it is up there. All right. I saw Bank of America did a study last year. It was published, I think, in October. I can't remember the number, but it was a significant number of folks who, and you would think it's people who are making like less than $50,000, because I remember they had 50, and no, there are folks making $100,000 and they're broke, $150,000 and they're broke, 200 and they're broke. So, a lot of times we say, well, somebody might say, okay, I'm only making $50,000. If I had no money, I'd never be broke. I wouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck. Bing, drop 100K on them. They broke. Because it's a mentality. It's a mentality. And all folks like that would do is, because they make more, they spend more. There's got to be, you cannot operate off of exactly what you have, right? You can't be making 100,000 and live like you're making 100,000. You got to live less than that. You can't, or else you're not going to be able to save anything. Else all your money's going to be gone, right? So the other thing is stress. Stress pushes us to spend money because we find some of us find relief and comfort in spending money. When we're stressed out, it's like, oh, I'm stressed out, man. I just need to go do something. Oh, let me go eat. Let me go buy some clothes. That's that dopamine again. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. Let me go do, because I'm so stressed out. So let me go spend some money to feel better, right? That's another thing again that causes us to spend a lot of money, is when we find ourselves in a lot of stress, we justify having to go out and do something. So we say, let me go do this, let me go do that, let me go do whatever case, let me spend some money and I'll feel better, right? No. With all these things being said, I'm not saying that you can't have a good time in your life, because you work hard for it. And the truth is, nobody knows their hour, their minute, their day, their whatever the case is. They could be working hard, planning for retirement, and then just retired. I know one of my friends told me that he knew someone who had saved up all this money and waited for retirement, and then died, what was it, the day after they retired or something like that. So you don't know, right? You don't know. But that's not going to be most case for most people. So you got to make sure, though. You got to make sure you're not just spending, though, because when you retire, you do want a little something. We ain't sure about Social Security. So you do want a little something set aside. And folks are living longer now. If you're taking care of yourself, you're going to need some money so you could retire. All right. So nobody's saying you can't go out and have a good time and have some fun or whatever the case is. It's just that it's not something that you could do regularly, like folks who eat out all of the time or whatever. And people who by the time they get to week 3, they ain't got no money. They ain't even got nothing in savings they could tap into, because they're living above their means. Right? They're completely living above their means. So that's it, man. Stress will cause you to go spend that money to get that relief, get that comfort. The next thing is social pressure. Yeah, that's social pressure. When you see other people, you're looking and seeing what they're doing, folks buying new cars, people in the neighborhood, in your street, they're doing this, they're doing that, people taking trips, they're doing whatever, all that sort of stuff. And you're like, okay, well, okay, well, maybe I should get me a car too. I mean, just looking to see what people are doing and you doing it too. You don't know where their money's coming from. You do not know where their money is coming from. You can't just follow suit. You know where your money is coming from, so you can't be pressured into going into debt. Remember, 60-70% of folks right now are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people don't even have it. That means a lot of people don't even have $1,000 or $2,000 put down anywhere. That's tight. That's rough. That's rough. And a lot of it is in the habits that we have. As I said, there's spending on clothes, that type of emotional spending, the social pressures. That's rough, right? And then there are those emotional triggers, right? You break up with someone or something like that, and you just want to spend some money to feel better. Oh my god, and that's okay. But again, everything is within reason, right? So I think the moral of the story is a lot of us end up spending a lot of money emotionally, and that's what the research said. And I was looking at a segment too on TV where it says a lot of folks do spend, most people do spend emotionally, right? We're emotional creatures, and a lot of times we spend money emotionally, and that stuff could get back to bite you. It can haunt you. So be careful how you're spending your money. I know people say, I work hard for my money. This is my money. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And you also deserve to be broke as well if you have that mentality. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you just got to watch how you spend it, because nobody wants to be broke. And when you got a problem, no, you got two problems. You got the problem itself, and then you got a money problem, because you ain't got no money to take care of the problem. So now you got two problems. I'm just saying. Anyway, I just want to stop by to drop some stuff here. Hopefully somebody can learn from it. Leave your comments. Hopefully I can learn something from your comments too. I always ask you to do two things at the end of every video. Don't forget to do something good for someone. No, you do not need to be rich to give back, or you don't have to be wealthy to do something good for someone. And then do something good for yourself. You know what that is, right? Maybe you need to walk in or walk out of a situation, right? So until next time, hey, check out the rest of the videos. Please subscribe, share. Helps the channel grow. This is the journey to 5,000 and beyond. Hey, until the next time, peace.